The wrestling world is built on rivalries, drama, and moments that define generations. But every now and then, something outside the ropes hits harder than any chair shot, spear, or finisher. This time, it wasn't a surprise return or a shocking betrayal inside the ring. It was words. Powerful, cutting words delivered by a woman who hasn't stepped foot in a WWE ring for nearly a decade but still commands respect like few others. AJ Lee, the geek goddess, the anti-diva, the three-time Divas Champion, has sent a strong message to WWE Superstars, and the entire wrestling world is reeling. For years, AJ Lee has lived in the shadows of WWE history. She was the spark that lit the flame of the women's revolution before it even had a name. Long before Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and Bayley were main eventing pay-per-views, AJ Lee stood on the front lines of a battle most didn't even know had begun. Her promos were sharp, her in-ring skills underrated, and her passion undeniable. She carried the women's division at a time when WWE management treated it as little more than filler. Then, at the height of her career, she walked away. Fans thought that was the end. But now, with a few carefully chosen words, AJ Lee has reminded the WWE Universe why she was, and still is, a force to be reckoned with. The moment came unexpectedly. At a wrestling convention in Chicago, AJ Lee was asked a question about the current state of women's wrestling in WWE. The crowd went silent, waiting for her to speak. She leaned into the microphone, her voice calm but cutting. To every woman in WWE today, don't ever forget who paved the road you're walking on. Respect it, respect the fans, and respect yourselves, because the moment you stop, you'll lose everything. The words hung in the air like thunder after lightning. Fans gasped, phones shot up to record, and within minutes, the clip was everywhere. AJ Lee had spoken directly to the WWE locker room, and her message was as strong as any promo she had ever cut in the ring. The response was immediate. Social media exploded. Hashtags like AJ Message, Respect the Road, and AJ Lee trended worldwide. Some fans praised her for telling the truth, saying that today's generation had forgotten the struggles of women like AJ, who fought for even a fraction of screen time. Others saw it as a shot at the current roster, questioning whether AJ was bitter about being left out of the women's revolution that followed her departure. But the undeniable fact was this: everyone was talking about AJ Lee again, and in the world of wrestling, conversation equals power. To understand why AJ Lee's message carried so much weight, you have to remember her journey. AJ wasn't born into wrestling royalty. She didn't come from a family of wrestlers. She was a fan, a self-proclaimed geek who trained in small gyms and clawed her way up the ladder. When she debuted in WWE, she wasn't handed opportunities. She earned them. Her character was unlike anything WWE had seen in years. She was quirky, unpredictable, and dangerously clever. Whether she was manipulating top stars like John Cena, CM Punk, and Daniel Bryan, or cutting scathing promos on the Divas division, AJ Lee made fans care. She wasn't the stereotypical diva. She was real, raw, and captivating. Her record speaks volumes. AJ held the Divas Championship for a then-record 295 days, defending it against all comers. She was the bridge between the shallow diva era and the serious women's revolution. And while WWE often celebrates the four horsewomen for changing the game, many fans argue that AJ Lee was the one who started it all. That's why her message resonates. When AJ speaks, she speaks with the authority of someone who has lived the struggle. It didn't take long for current WWE superstars to respond, directly or indirectly. Becky Lynch, known for her sharp tongue, tweeted later that night, "Some roads are made to be walked further. Some of us are still building new ones." Fans immediately interpreted it as a subtle jab back at AJ. Rhea Ripley, the reigning powerhouse of WWE, was even bolder. She posted, "I don't need anyone's road. I built my own." It was a defiant statement, one that reflected the confidence of the new generation but also showed just how deeply AJ's words had struck. Even veterans like Natalya weighed in, praising AJ for speaking her truth but also defending the current roster. "We're all walking on roads built by someone else," she wrote. "That's how wrestling evolves." The debate raged on. Was AJ Lee inspiring the new generation or calling them out? Was she offering motivation or firing the first shot of a potential comeback? WWE fans are never silent, and this situation was no exception. On forums, Twitter, and YouTube, fans argued passionately. One camp believed AJ Lee was simply reminding the new stars not to get complacent, to honor the struggles that came before them. The other camp accused her of undermining the progress of today's women who have main-evented WrestleMania, headlined pay-per-views, and shattered glass ceilings AJ never had the chance to. But one thing both sides agreed on: they wanted more. Fans began chanting AJ's name at live shows again. Signs reading "Respect the Road" appeared in WWE crowds. Fantasy booking videos of AJ Lee facing Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, or Rhea Ripley went viral. Whether you loved her or hated her, you couldn't ignore her. WWE itself stayed quiet at first, as it often does when a controversial storm brews outside its walls. But then, subtle hints began to appear. During a women's match on Raw, commentator Michael Cole remarked, "Respect is earned, not given." Fans immediately tied the line back to AJ's message. On SmackDown, Corey Graves teased, "You never know when the past might come knocking." Again, fans heard AJ's name in those words. WWE knew the buzz AJ created was too valuable to ignore, and they were already weaving it into their narrative. Of course, the biggest question on everyone's mind was simple: is AJ Lee coming back? Could her strong message be the first step in a shocking WWE return? Rumors began flying. Some insiders claimed AJ had been in quiet talks with Triple H about a comeback. Others suggested her message was a test run, a way to gauge fan reaction before she took the plunge. With CM Punk already back in WWE, the idea of AJ Lee returning didn't seem impossible anymore. Imagine the scene. A random Monday Night Raw. The lights go dark. A familiar voice says, "Let's light it up." The crowd explodes as AJ Lee skips down the ramp, smirk on her face, microphone in hand. She doesn't wrestle, not yet. Instead, she stands in the center of the ring and repeats her strong message, this time directly to the faces of Becky, Charlotte, Bianca, and Rhea. The confrontation would be electric, a generational clash unlike anything WWE has seen before. Beyond the speculation and fantasy booking, AJ Lee's strong message holds a deeper truth. It's not just about WWE Superstars, it's about every wrestler who comes after her. She was reminding the world that respect must never be forgotten, respect for the road paved by those who came before, respect for the fans who keep the business alive, and respect for yourself as a performer who sacrifices everything for this industry. Her words were not meant to tear down the new generation, but to sharpen them, to remind them that complacency is the enemy and that wrestling's future depends on its stars staying hungry, humble, and connected to the audience. So where does this leave us? AJ Lee's strong message has already changed the conversation in WWE. Fans are buzzing, stars are responding, and WWE is hinting at something bigger. Whether it leads to a return, a storyline, or simply remains a legendary soundbite, the impact is undeniable. The seeds of a new revolution may have just been planted. Not the women's revolution of 2015, but a new one, built on respect, legacy, and the reminder that the past and present must always collide to create the future. In WWE, moments matter. AJ Lee created countless moments during her career, and now, even years later, she's still doing it. Her strong message to WWE Superstars wasn't just words. It was history reminding the present who started the fight. It was a challenge, a warning, and maybe even a promise. The ball is now in WWE's court. Will they answer AJ Lee's message with silence, or will they turn it into the next great storyline? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. AJ Lee has spoken, and the wrestling world will never forget it. Her message has been sent. The WWE Universe has heard it loud and clear. And somewhere in the chaos, one question burns brighter than all the rest. Who in WWE has the courage to respond?